We're in hard times and some of us are going to need a lawyer. And if you need a lawyer, don't just react to a TV commercial. Get a copy of the Lawyers Consumer Directory, which is available absolutely free of charge at any 7-Eleven store throughout Central Florida. The Lawyers Consumer Directory is going to give you real hardcore knowledge on how to hire a lawyer and a lot of information on issues like bankruptcy, foreclosure, and more. Get the Lawyers Consumer Directory. It's absolutely free of charge at any 7-Eleven throughout Central Florida.
Ahora puedes demostrar tu orgullo hispano mientras manejas en la carretera con la nueva tablilla o placa de auto hispana conmemorando los 500 años del descubrimiento de Florida por Juan Ponce de León.
Obtén tu tablilla hispana este año y harás la diferencia.
Solo 1,000 se necesitan para hacerla permanente.
Su donativo ayudará a estudiantes con becas.
Nuestra comunidad se beneficiará con más programas y servicios.
Resalta nuestra cultura, nuestras raíces.
Demostremos que la unión está a la fuerza.
Obtén tu tablilla hispana en el Departamento de Vehículos de Motor más cercano o llama hoy al 321-277-0850.
¿Necesitas un abogado? Detente. No contrates un abogado simplemente por haberlo visto en un anuncio comercial. Lawyers Consumer Directory te ofrece la solución para todo tipo de problemas legales, tales como inmigración, bancarrota, divorcios, entre otros. Y hasta te ayuda a cómo contratar un abogado. No te rompa la cabeza buscando la solución cuando la tienes en tus manos. Adquiérelo gratis, sí, absolutamente gratis en cualquier 7-Eleven.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every week for the past 9 years on Bright House Cable TV. We talk about issues that are pertinent to the Hispanic community and their effect on the community at large. I'm here with my friends, and I'm only friends with them on Tuesday nights, by the way. I don't see them ever after that. I have Daisy, okay,
hello,
and Jose from radio fame from, what radio station was that, 540 or something? 810. And we have a newcomer here who we invited as a guest, and her name is Monica Echevarria. Hi, Monica. How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So let's give a little swipe to the gun thing again, okay? Because I just want to hit 2 seconds. We did the last show on guns. In New York State, they passed one of the laws they passed where they itemized certain guns that they didn't want used. This was Cuomo. He's the governor. His dad used to be governor, and they had a .233 automatic rifle. The automatic rifle has 2 pictures, which we're going to show you right now, okay? It's on the screen. And the rifle, the difference in the 2 rifles is the 2 rifles are exactly the same. The only difference in other words, they use the same caliber, they shoot the same way, they're exactly the same gun, as you can see from the picture, except for one thing. The handle that you hold the gun with. One handle is kind of like a regular rifle, as you can see on the illustration, and the other handle goes a little bit more vertical. One is outlawed and one is not outlawed. And the only difference is what they call the handle on the stock. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's where your palm grips the gun.
And the magazine, it's in the magazine?
No, the magazines are the same. It's just the handle, it's on the back. So the magazine is in the front, as you can see from the illustration. It shoots the same way, the same caliber, there's absolutely no difference, but the handle. And one is legal, they made one legal, and one is not legal. My point is that's how much New York State knows about the laws they're passing regarding guns, you know? And I don't think, and news has come out recently that now...
Don't you think that maybe it has to do with consumer, the consumer market?
No.
Maybe they're catering to specific, vendor?
It was the way the manufacturer was going to get around the law. So
it might be that. It could be that. It could be that.
It is. It's how to get around the law. That's how.
Well, tell me how that works. How does it work that they get around the law? In other words, there's too many gun manufacturers. They're manufacturing the same rifle except for the handle.
There's certain specifics that come with
yeah, but Jose, they
weapon.
just outlawed this last week.
But don't they have weight restrictions too?
No. They just outlawed it last week. So nobody. I don't know. Maybe they looked at one gun and somebody said, let's outlaw this one, and they didn't realize that there were 40 other models in the market. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, then again, that's what I'm saying. It's probably, catering to the consumer, and who, maybe behind the scenes someone is buying this decision.
Yeah, could be.
You just never know.
No, it's true. Politicians can be bought and sold. We all know
Well,
that.
I don't want to say
the other
politicians
thing,
because
too,
we're
is
talking about business people. We're talking about guns. It's not only
Politicians can be bought and sold by business people.
Okay, but
Okay. So I went into Gander, which is the largest gun store in Central Florida, and they have no automatic rifles in stock. You can see that their vertical shelves are completely empty. And then I went over to Shoot Straight because I went to inquire about automatic rifles and automatic, semi-automatic, and they stopped selling them. However,
Willingly, or they just
no,
stopped?
they stopped and they said we don't order them for you. Okay. However, okay, I went online and I went to a site called Atlantic Firearms. Now, Atlantic Firearms is all.
Are you being paid for all this advertisement?
Yeah, really.
You just gave out
gun
3
issue is
company
just-
names.
I wish. That's okay, but I'm a gun
It's
enthusiast.
overrated right now.
I'm a gun enthusiast. So now I went to Atlantic Firearms, and all it is semi-automatic rifles. Okay. Now, obviously, Gander and Shoot Straight have stripped their shelves because they have more vested as a business. If somebody buys from them and something happens, the publicity will destroy their business.
Okay.
So they've decided to eliminate it from their shelves. However, when I went to Atlantic Firearms, they told me that I could order the gun through the internet, have it shipped to one of these 2 suppliers, okay?
And buy it there.
And pay a fee of $75 for processing. The $75 goes to the gun store. So that would go either to Gander or to Shoot Straight. So while they're not selling it, okay, I can go on the internet to a dealer, okay? They don't send it to me because I'm not licensed. It goes to the dealer, which is the retailer. I paid the dealer $75.
After your background
He
check.
takes the gun, after the background check. Well, I have a background
If
check.
you're buying anything online, I highly doubt that they're checking the background.
So, no, they do. So then what happens is then the
I
gun,
beg to differ.
when it comes in to the retail store, they call me up and I go down to the same gun store and pick it up. So to me, that's okay. They're making less profit on the gun because they do make more than $75 if they actually sell the gun themselves. But they haven't shut down the door totally to the sales. I think it's just, a lot of theater again.
They just don't want to be held responsible for selling that gun.
Exactly.
They just use the middleman, and then they say,
They're-
I really didn't
The
sell
They're
it.
the
liability-
delivery system.
Exactly, they didn't sell
and
it
the
to you.
liability falls on someone else.
Yeah. Well,
They just held it for you and
Okay.
handed it to you, made sure you were
What-
properly certified to have this weapon. But other than that, they don't want no other responsibility that they actually
do you have a
issue
gun permit?
that.
do you have a gun permit? Do you have a gun permit? No? Yes? She refuses to answer because she's on the
I
list.
plead the fifth.
She doesn't want
I
to be on
have
the
the
list
right
in the
to
Journal
remain
up in New
silent.
Jersey. She doesn't want to get on the
I
Google
have the
map.
right to remain
She doesn't want
silent.
to be on the Google map. Okay? All right, so that's the thing that's happened with guns this week. The president was inaugurated last week. Okay? What do you think, Jose? What do you think the next 4 years is going? What do you think Obama's agenda is going to be?
My poor president gets no breaks.
He's going to he opened up with a progressive agenda, and it still remains to be seen when he has the State of the Union for specifics of how he's going to go about it. He did mention the climate change, which he didn't mention at all in the last 4 years. It actually hasn't been mentioned in the last 10, 12 years. So it's something that we need to look at because we have forests are burning, our glaciers are melting, and those kind of things will eventually affect us.
You want to know something?
The government can manipulate the climate. According to something I read, they could manipulate. They send
They
these
could be.
things that cause the climate change. So how is he going to be talking about the climate when he can even control the climate? They're acting like gods and they're not.
We can't do the National Enquirer here, but
Why
it's
not?
good to know
That's good to
that
me.
it's good that you read. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I do want to do National Enquirer because a lot of times, wasn't the guy who was running for president, do you remember that guy? You remember? The good-looking guy who used to hire somebody to do his hair every morning, and the one
you
whose
were running
wife
for
was dying of cancer.
Yes.
Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're doing.
All right.
The other thing that we need to be concerned about, that even though he gave a great speech,
Edwards.
Even though he gave a great speech, that
You thought he gave a great speech?
I thought he did. It was.
I did.
It was brief.
You
it
want to
was
know
short,
something? Clinton.
It was towards
they're
the
still
people.
talking about Clinton outspeeching Obama.
It doesn't-
And that was during the the convention.
He had over
But
a million
everybody
people.
loved Clinton. You
million
can't
people
compare Obama with
Everybody
Clinton.
loves Clinton because of
Exactly.
Monica.
No,
Because of Monica Lewinsky.
Because he didn't inhale, okay?
He didn't
That's
inhale.
the reason why they like Clinton.
Wow.
Still got to be concerned with the Republican Party and that they're trying to change the electoral college, and you have a series of things that are being taken place in Pennsylvania and in West Virginia. So it's something that we need to be starting to talk about, and be vigilant if we are not already too late on the process.
Of what? Changing the electoral college?
Right. The Republicans, so that the Republicans can secure the presidency for up 10 years to come. And
Well, they want to make it a popular vote.
No, they want to make it more than popular.
Which is usually how most
wanna make it a
Republicans
Republican
win.
vote.
They want to make
Which
it a
is usually
Republican
how
vote.
most
What
Republicans
is it
win.
with you guys? This is supposed to be a neutral show.
It's okay,
There's
but
a
you
Democrat,
hear
there's a
bashing
Democrat.
that the president didn't give a good
I
speech.
did not
That's
say
not
that.
neutral.
I did
That's
not
just
say
your
that.
opinion.
I didn't say that. I said Clinton
asked
gave a
him.
great
Did
speech.
you not- did he
Obama
not
gave a
ask
good
you?
speech.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
Okay,
All right,
and
let's
he
move on.
didn't agree that he.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
I'm the
So,
neutral party
if we're gonna
here.
be neutral, then be neutral across the board.
Honey, you couldn't be neutral if your name was neutral. All right, let's talk about schools. Okay, let's talk about schools.
Talk about religion and schools.
Let's
Yes, let's
all right.
talk about schools.
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Well, this month, a school decided that they were going to allow a Christian group to give out Bibles, and my daughter is in high school, and I asked her out of curiosity, how do you feel about that situation being a student in a school? And she's like, well, Mom, it's not a bad thing. It's up to me whether I choose to read it or not. But chances are, if I see them there and I choose not to pick up the Bible, take it, it's not going to matter. However, we're having all these other groups wanting the same right.
Do you mean to tell, is your daughter Puerto Rican? I'm just asking you a question.
No,
that's all.
she's an alien from Mars.
Okay. No, because it's I would pick up the way we are, man. We pick up the Bible, go, okay, there's a free book. I could take it to the bookstore and sell it.
No, my
I don't
daughter is
know
not like
why
that.
the Puerto Ricans
I don't know what
like
Puerto
that.
Rican
No.
you hang out with, but we don't
I
just
hang around this Puerto Rican.
we don't
I hang
have the
out.
This is
five-finger
the-
discounts, okay?
I hang out
we don't
with this
believe in
Puerto
the
Rican.
five-finger discounts.
He would get in and make a profit off of getting all this stacks of Bibles from these kids at high school.
How do you think you're sitting here? You think you're sitting here for free? This costs money.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, go ahead. So you were talking about the Bible.
With the Bible.
But we all know why we're sitting here, because he had already confessed that he carries bags from state to state. So he's made that clear.
What bags is this?
He's in a good mood.
You want to be
Oh,
serious.
the bags. He wanted for you to explain the bags that he carries from
No,
state
that
to
was
state.
an episode ago, a couple
Okay.
of episodes
All right.
ago.
So we're talking about the Bible.
Yes,
we're talking
we're
about
talking about
Orange
the
County.
Bible. We're talking
Somebody
about-
went into Orange County. He's giving away 1,600 Bibles in Orange County.
No, they're giving Bibles to 10 schools, or I believe 11 schools. And my concern, religion has already been banned from schools. I mean, and it's sad to say, we're not living back in the early centuries where the schoolhouse was the church. Unfortunately, now we have diversity within our community. The only situation or the only problem that I foresee here is that now you have to allow other groups to partake in handing out pamphlets and other material. That's when it gets confusing. So now, not only are you imposing to give out Bibles, you're imposing other materials in which, let's say, I am not fond of. I won't call them out because, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs. However, I feel uncomfortable now, my daughter receiving materials from other entities or from other perspective of religion. So religion and education should be separated.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Shouldn't be mixed.
Shouldn't be mixed? Okay. They're not mixing. They're not teaching. In other words, a teacher is not teaching your child information from the Bible. What they're doing is they're giving away a book. Okay? Now, a person can elect to take the book or not take the book. It's up to the person. They're offering somebody a free ice cream. You want it, you take it. or they're offering somebody a sandwich, you want it, you take it.
Yeah, but
they're
it's
offering a
being
person
done.
a book.
It's being done in a location in which you have, okay, as an individual or as a student, now I have to walk by this and make a decision.
Let me ask you
and
something.
if I don't make the decision, let's say, who's to say that
They
a
won't
certain
ridicule
group
them.
won't say, oh, look at you need that Bible, or you should be, reading it, or, we have students that are bullied for anything. This is another method as to bullying, bullying or manipulating.
But they're not forcing the Bible on you.
You don't know that. You don't know this
Well,
group.
I know that they set up a table.
Right.
And the person stood behind the table and said, put a little sign up, free Bibles if you want them. He's not forcing somebody to take the Bible. And I'll tell you something else. You know what that's called? It's called freedom of speech. The Constitution.
Not inside a school.
Excuse me.
It's
you have
illegal
the
to
right.
distribute.
We actually
It's illegal.
read.
It's a public. It's public grounds.
No.
But it's illegal
No.
to distribute Bibles in school. It says it. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
I think it's freedom
It's
of speech,
illegal.
and I think it can be tested in court.
I know it's
Right?
they could
And
take
I
it
think-
to court.
and I'll tell you something
but
else. If
it's
somebody-
a wasted issue and it's a waste of taxpayer
No,
money.
it
This
could go to
issue
court.
comes out every year.
It couldn't go to
It
court.
constantly comes out. I understand it could come to
This
Not
court.
is
only
something that
Well,
our
it's an issue
Republican-
that it just keeps coming up, and there's no need to keep bringing this up.
Multicultural education.
I understand.
Okay.
But schools are to educate.
Says religion must be taught. It's in. I can read it to you right out of this book.
Us as parents have
That's
the right to teach our
Obama's
religion.
new
I
laws
have no
regarding
problem
education.
with religion being taught in
I don't
school.
think Obama says it has to be taught in school.
Exactly.
And they're using the school as a
When is that
a
book
bully
dated
pulpit
from?
for it.
2012.
Okay, that's the case.
Just asking.
However,
you
our
should.
Republican government has approved of giving out these books. So I would
But it
say
says that
Yeah,
it's
but they're just
illegal.
sending,
It's
okay, the
illegal.
wrong
The
image.
separation of religion
in school.
and education.
They're sending the wrong
What-
message. They're permitting some people to do some things and others not to, is what they're saying. They're sectioning out who can do this and who cannot.
So-
And what they got to do is either be
Okay.
fair or just not do it at all.
Multicultural education is a process of comprehensive school reform. This is Obama, okay? And basic education for all students. It rejects racism and other forms of discrimination in schools and society, accepting pluralism, which includes religious, economic, gender, and sexual orientation.
Okay, but that's their religious belief.
I
They're
think
saying they
that's religious
cannot.
belief. This is Obama's.
I understand, but
school
he's
system.
talking about saying that, you can have your religious belief and nobody can discriminate against you. You could be
That's-
gay
Right,
and nobody
that-
can
and that's what
discriminate against you.
it's
But
defining.
now it's
That's
not saying
exactly
you
what
can
it's
distribute
defining.
Bibles because it
You
says
can
it's
come
illegal
in
to
if you
distribute
want. If
Bibles.
you're a Muslim and you want to come in wrapped up in your bed sheets, that's fine.
So if you want to
Nobody
come
should
in,
ridicule
so
you.
your school teacher, who's a 60-year-old guy, can come in dressed in drag. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, I
You
cannot,
can't
I
discriminate.
cannot
You
say
can.
yes or
Why
no.
would
I
you-
cannot say yes or no because there's certain policies as to how you dress.
Okay, let me tell you this.
There's
Okay,
a
wait a
dress
second.
code.
There's-
So I don't know if
Okay,
that
but it
dress
falls
code
under
is
sexual-
appropriate for that school.
It falls
might
under
be, it might
sexual
not be.
orientation, and in Orange County.
But it might be
excuse
part
me,
of the dress code or it
in
might
Orange
not.
County, at 2 a.m. in the morning last week, Bill Sublette, who is the chair of Orange County Schools, pushed through an amendment which opens the door for cross-dressing for teachers in schools while they're teaching your second grader.
So then that way we have the option to choose that we don't want that teacher to teach our kids. How about if everybody
Well,
starts
take
banning
'em out.
that child out of that class, then they're going to have to get rid of the teacher or
And
ask them
that's
to
our
dress
right
properly.
as a parent.
And we have
In
that
that
right.
school.
Do you?
Yes.
So where are you going to put them?
We can put them, you know why? Because
Where are
there's
you
a
gonna put
law
'em?
that after November, they let you pick the school you could take your kids to.
Okay, so now you take them out of there and you're going to send them to another public school?
You send them to another public, not necessarily. You can have them switch from classes.
Because
the reason
what
I
about a
know
private
this,
school?
a private school, if you can afford it. If not, you can get a grant. If you're all under a certain income, you
They
can
have
get a
charter
grant for.
schools.
Okay.
They have charter schools. You
There's
can take
different
your kids to.
methods to handle a situation.
And if
It's
people
not
ban that stuff, eventually they're going to either have to make the teacher choose. You're going to keep cross-dressing or you're going to dress like you were before.
But it's not even
a
that.
confusion they're teaching our
it's
kids.
not
Our
even
kids
that.
don't need
Wait,
any
that's-
more
wait a
It's
confusion.
a
second.
dress
That
code
is
issue.
exactly-
It's a dress code
Our kids
issue.
don't need any
when
more
it comes
confusion.
to that,
But you want to know something?
you
You're right.
address it as a dress code issue. Okay, so then if that's the
It's a
case,
dress
then
code
why
issue.
can't
You're right.
students come to school with their pants showing their underwears?
Or a shirt that says what they
you,
feel.
You have to look at the whole picture, okay? Is this person, okay, coming in this way because that's how they feel comfortable? But, you know, it's part of the dress code.
So the guys,
Exactly.
so the
There is
kids, so
dress
the kids
codes.
wearing their pants below their waist,
They're not allowed.
Is equivalent to the cross-dressing?
Yes, it's a dress
It's
code.
a dress code.
You're judging
Girls
or you're
cannot wear
basing.
skirts if their hands don't touch they're
we're
too
talking
short. It
about
has to
how
touch
you are
their
perceived
fingertips.
physically because of your garments.
tank
And what teacher checks that
What
out?
is
They do
cross-dressing?
check it.
Cross-dressing
Oh, I've seen
is
girls get in trouble
you
for it.
being a certain gender and dressing the opposite. Kids do that nowadays. And it's called, what is it called? Metrosexual.
And freedom of expression,
And freedom of
isn't it?
expression. It's
Okay.
it has
They're
to
not
do-
Yeah, that's not
allowed. They
allowed in school.
limit their freedom of expression. There is a dress code which us as parents have to sign at the beginning of the year. It's the
Exactly.
code of ethics.
Exactly.
It's all
Do
the
you have a
rules they
copy of
have
that
to
code?
follow. At home I do.
Can you
yes.
bring it in for next week?
Sure.
I'd like to
It's-
see
it's
that.
You,
dress code
it
issue.
has dress codes on it. They're not allowed to wear muscle shirts, tank tops, and these are elementary kids. They're not aware. The girls are not allowed to wear too shorts of shorts, and if they wear skirts, they're supposed to wear underpants underneath them. So there is rules. So if there's rules for our students and they restrict
Correct.
them, then they
And
should be the
that's-
same
Now,
ethnic code
So you
to
don't
the
believe that a
teachers.
cross-dresser should be allowed to cross-dress
I'm not saying that I don't believe. Okay,
a
everybody.
transvestite? You don't believe a transvestite should
Okay.
be able to go into an elementary school?
Nowadays,
Yes or no? All I'm asking you is yes or no.
No, but it's not a yes or no. It's a maybe. Okay, it's a maybe. You're
Okay.
gonna get a maybe from me because nowadays, believe it or not,
Maybe.
it's a maybe.
You got a 60-year-old guy wearing a dress in front of your 7-year-old
To me,
and teaching
my
and
opinion-
teaching about cross-dressing?
she's a maybe, and I would say no. Unless you were cross-dressing from the beginning, that the kids saw you as that, but all of a sudden you're going to
That's your
introduce to my
identity.
children.
Okay,
Correct.
what if the
Correct.
law?
That
What
is-
if the
that
law
is the
said
point.
clearly that this person can do that? Then what do you
Again,
guys say?
I don't. Okay.
Then we can't, okay, fine, then you got to accept the law. But as parents, we have a choice to either
Right.
let those people educate our kids or remove them from that situation. We can actually protest and ask to have them move to another class where a teacher that does
And
not
the
teach
only
cross-dressing
reason why I would
is going to be
challenge it
teaching
is
them.
because, again, I would define it as a dress code issue. That's the only way, because like she said, if the person comes in on day one and that's their identity, so be it. Okay, the child will get accustomed to their identity. But if one day I decide I'm gonna come this way and then the next day I'm gonna dress up, you're confusing yourself and society.
How do you feel during, and you both have kids, how do you feel considering that we're going through this major change in the educational system, okay, which originated out of the
Which
Obama...
change are you referring to? 'Cause-
Multiculturalism
Okay.
as an educational process.
Okay.
They call it multiculturalism.
Be more liberal.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so
No,
define
right now
it.
it's defined to religion and homosexuality. Right now it's not cultural. It's not about different cultures. It's about what they want to choose
Right.
to implement in the schools.
Exactly.
And that's not fair because they're not the ones that their students are going to go for the rest of their lives to the schools.
Correct.
They have to also get
Let's-
the parents
Let me-
ideas of what
Okay.
cultural effects we
Let
want
me
in our
read the
kids and
definition
what
again.
should be taught to
Okay,
our
let me
kids.
read the
We heard
definition.
you. We heard you.
Okay, multicultural education is a process of comprehensive school reform. Okay, it challenges and rejects certain things like racism and other forms of discrimination in schools, which is the main thrust of it.
yeah.
Okay, and accepts pluralism, which includes linguistic, religious, economic, gender, and sexual orientation. Okay.
So it's limited.
So, it is
Economical.
among others, okay? But when you have those phrases, underneath those phrases, okay, because what they're saying is basically it's multiple and accepts those items. Now, when you accept those items, you accept all. That's only one word. You got to accept the definitions that fall under that
Well,
word.
that's what I was referring to when giving out Bibles. In schools, you're not only accepting one thing. No, now you're gonna have to open the door to everything.
Accept everything else. At all
And
other religions.
at school, it's enough kids go through different types of pressure.
I don't have a problem with somebody setting up a table and giving out the Korans. I
But
don't
that's
care. I'd go
not
get
the
one. I want a
problem. I'm
Koran.
not referring to setting up a
But
table.
your curiosity is to read. But as parents, maybe we don't want that curiosity to be exposed
Exactly.
yet to our
That's how
children
I'm
because
defining
we
it.
But it's
feel.
but
eventually they'll
right
reach
now,
an age
under this
that-
system, You don't even know what you're getting teachers that spend more time with your kids teaching them, not accompanying them, but indoctrinating them. They spend more time with them than you do.
Of course, and we know this.
And what?
That's
so how
why
do you know
we
what
don't
your
need.
what your
Okay,
kid
and
is
that's
turning out to
why
be?
I am saying what I am saying.
Because the curriculum is designed.
And
I get a schedule of the curriculum.
The curriculum
And you know
is
what that teacher
antiquated.
That's teaching by, she
Yeah.
tells me, today,
And
this
you-
week.
you think-
At the beginning of the week, I already know
Now,
what
what
she's
happens
teaching.
if you get something that says that today we're going to teach about gays, and is that okay with you?
Again?
No.
Okay.
That's not okay with you. So what would you do
Well,
in
no,
that
that's
case?
in the context. That's teaching.
that's not part of teaching.
Well,
That
it is.
has
You're
nothing to do
learning.
with education.
I beg to differ on that because again, we live in a society that everything is
It's
now
complicated.
open.
It's complicated.
No, and it's not
It is
complicated. To me, it's just too open.
Okay.
We all have ways of thinking, and what's right for me might not be right for you. Okay, and people are continuously imposing behaviors and attitudes, and something that's not normal for one person may be normal for another person. It's the way that things are imposed upon others. What you are and who you are, you should not impose. That's why they need basics. Okay, you need the basic. You need a uniform. You need neutralism.
All
Okay.
right. Let me define this for you. I read it before. I want to read it again. And this is an educator that teaches in the school system and is a writer about multiculturalism. And basically, the reason it says this is precisely the reason that it is not enough to continue working within an ailing, oppressive, and outdated system to make changes. When the problems in education are themselves symptoms of a system that continues to be controlled by the economic elite. We're going to close the show with that, okay? And what I'd like you to do is contact me at nhca@bellsouth.net or go to our website, Hispanicspeakout.tv, Hispanicspeakout.tv, or my email address, nhca@bellsouth.net. And tell me if you think that our system is being controlled by economic elite people as a total I don't want to use the phrase stereotype, but just send me an email and tell me what you think about that statement on multiculturalism. Guys, thank you so much. It's been great. I'll see you tomorrow. Next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that we can argue some more. Okay, thank you, Monica, who's the newcomer, and Daisy, which is kind of a newcomer, and Jose and myself. We've been on the air for lots of time, for lots of years. We'll see you next week. It's Danny Ramos on Speak Out TV. We're in hard times, and some of us are going to need a lawyer. And if you need a lawyer, don't just react to a TV commercial. Get a copy of the Lawyers Consumer Directory, which is available absolutely free of charge at any 7-Eleven store throughout Central Florida. The Lawyers Consumer Directory is going to give you real hardcore knowledge on how to hire a lawyer and a lot of information on issues like bankruptcy, foreclosure, and more. Get the Lawyers Consumer Directory. It's absolutely free of charge at any 7-Eleven throughout Central Florida.
Ahora puedes demostrar tu orgullo hispano mientras manejas en la carretera con la nueva tablilla o placa de auto hispana conmemorando los 500 años del descubrimiento de Florida por Juan Ponce de León.
Obtén tu tablilla hispana este año y harás la diferencia.
Solo 1,000 se necesitan para hacerla permanente.
Su donativo ayudará a estudiantes con becas.
Nuestra comunidad se beneficiará con más programas y servicios.
Resalta nuestra cultura, nuestras raíces.
Demostremos que en la unión está la fuerza.
Obtén tu tablilla hispana en el Departamento de Vehículos de Motor más cercano o llama hoy al 321-277-0850.